Did you know about this story before I? Yeah, of course you knew. Of course you knew,
I thought
right?
she was gone. I thought she went right back to the enchantment land of hell, where her the other demonic leprechauns were at. But I guess I was wrong.
Oh my gosh. I cannot. Oh my god. Demonic leprechaun. Okay, that's funny. Um so Mrs. Lightfoot.
Yes,
Um she's going to be a professor.
at Harvard,
Uh,
TH Chen School of Public Health. God,
let's look at the article. Ex-Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot headed to Harvard to teach.
one-term mayor.
Dear God, are you kidding me right now?
You know that NASCAR event is still happening here in the city. It's going to happen. Chicago.
No.
Yes, it's still going on. And
But they gotta
this city's not prepped for it. There's a reason why there are large airports or big fields outside of Chicago to NASCAR. This city isn't built. I hope people did their job for safety, because I see a disaster happening and it ain't going to be pretty. Anyways, NASCAR instead she focused on that instead of, oh, I don't know, a UBI, because she said, oh, the people of Chicago don't need it. She gave funding for that new police academy. Nothing for our schools. Mental health facilities still shut down. Lead in our drinking water. I mean, this mayor ran on a quote unquote progressive change, and then when she was running, she said she basically used a Biden line, like, if you're black and you're gonna be voting for on these other candidates, we don't want you. Like, okay, fine. Miss, I'm in third place. Didn't make it to the final two. One-term mayor. It was more than just black people that voted against you. It had a
Wait.
whole coalition.
Hey, remember that song by Nelly, Number One, where he said, two is not a winner, and three nobody remembers?
Yep.
Lori, Miss Lori, come on now.
But she's got an ego the size of a galaxy. She almost got a limo driver fired from her job from a bad Yelp review, and the company had to look into it, and the company responded back to her, hey, all our limo drivers have private cameras installed within, and we checked it, and our limo driver did not use your bathroom. He showed up on time. He did not make a mess. He did not leave the car. You are giving a false statement. That was before she became freaking mayor. Call me liar. Look it up. You got the Library of Alexandria right before you.
Wait, she could afford a limo driver before she was mayor?
Let me go ahead and pull this up, because
That's my first question.
Yeah, hold on. Lightfoot Yelp review. Hang on. This crazy Yelp review from the new Chicago mayor. This is from August. Limo company. Yep, I called it. There we go. Here we go. From Lightfoot. I would never use VIP limo again. Driver Carlos showed up early for our pickup. A good sign, right? Turned out not to be so. Carlos shows up, wants to use our bathroom. A little strange, but fine. Turns out he pisses in our toilet and does not have the courtesy to put down the toilet seats. Beginning of the end. We are going to the United Center. Carlos clearly has no idea who to get there. He is totally reliant on whack GPS system that has him driving his huge Cadillac Escalade stretch down extremely narrow Chicago neighborhood streets. This is a person who ran on social reforms and everything else and progressive policies. She didn't do that. Bernie also, I don't think Bernie was fully on board with her. I don't think he gave her an endorsement, but she definitely got a lot of people from the Bernie Sanders movement to support her. Going en route to make no sense. I had to take over. She had to take over and give him clear directions to get the expressway. Apparently, that was totally emasculating him. Oh, no, she chopped off his wang bone. But how, says, my GPS says I get off Division, off the expressway when we are going much further. She wrote a whole dissertation. All right? She wrote a whole dissertation. But here's what the company wrote in response to her. Because, I mean, I could go on. I don't want to take up too much of your time. But she wrote a whole dissertation here. Here's what the company said. Our driver did not use your bathroom. We checked the vehicle cameras. He did not enter your home, period. You had lots of guests over, and of them could have done what you claim our wonderful driver, Carlos, did. He did not do that. So again, he did not leave the vehicle. Our drivers have GPS systems that work with current events and traffic. Chicago often has festivals, and we have to work our way around them. It is not your place to tell him how to do his job, period. Our drivers asked for a gentleman's phone number actually because they don't even want to seem inappropriate asking for a lady's phone number. And you should appreciate that Carlos took time to ask for a backup phone number in case you lose your signal or battery. Again, our drivers know what they're doing and have experience, period. It seems to me the only person who is sexist, my dear, is you, period. I don't know where you come to your conclusion that you were emasculating him. Maybe you hope you were, exclamation point. Your language is horrendous and lewd. Just your rant here to make me feel embarrassed for you. Also, wow, that's pretty insulting to refer to women who like to take a lot of pics at their events as dumb female. Your driver arrived early. He got you on time and safely to your event, period. Your credit card you provided on the contract was declining. Lightfoot's card, declining. We even let you use a different credit card for payment, comma, which is against our rules, period. And you received an upgrade vehicle twice the price of what you paid for without any upcharge as free upgrade from out company, period. I wish I could review customers like you. Find something better to do with your time, and you should appreciate great service when you receive it. So, hey, anyone's going to be taking Lightfoot's course, you're all going to probably fail it. Told you we're going to have fun on your show. And that was for 2019. And the thing is, that's our mayor, our former mayor, Lightfoot, who would dress up like a cartoon caricature all the time. The Rona Destroyer. She even dressed up as a leprechaun one time. Well, not a leprechaun. She dressed up for St. Patty's Day, and she looked like a dime store version of a leprechaun. And then she had the infamous census cowboy. You remember during the George Floyd protest, there was that one guy in Chicago who was riding a horse. That was the I think he was the census cowboy at one point.
Let's go back to the story. Lord Lightfoot. Oh my goodness. All right. So let's get into the story. It says former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot will teach a course at Harvard later this year on health policy and leadership, she announced on Thursday. Quote, I've always loved teaching, and the opportunity to get back to it is something I am really excited about. I learned a lot over the past 4 years, and this gives me an opportunity to share my experiences and perceptions in governing through one of the most challenging chapters in American history.
I had to sit back just to avoid any kind of words about Lightfoot talking about how she loves teaching. Let me explain about Lightfoot and her love of teaching or trying to enlighten people.
Oh, God.
This is a woman who is enforcing, especially during the pandemic, you can't have any parties. You can't do this. Can't go outside. Stay inside. Stay inside. And then of course, while the city is on fire, while the city is suffering through the height of the George Floyd protest, what is she doing? She's kind of making out these ridiculous campaign commercials where she's dancing and having fun. This city suffered under Lightfoot's mismanagement. She knows nothing of leadership. She knows nothing about caring for communities. She abandoned the Black community. She abandoned the Latino community. She abandoned the white communities. She abandoned everybody. You want to know who she didn't abandon? Her corporate donors. Anyone that supported Lightfoot quickly washed their hands away from her. She was against anyone and anything. You could not criticize her. If you criticized her, you were racist. You were bigoted. You were misogynist. You were all of these things. And the thing is, Lightfoot even had the audacity to say the media needs more people of color, more representation. And so when there was a Black reporter, a male and a female, asking her questions, not questions approved by her, but saying, hey, your administration hasn't done anything to help out schools or local communities, she was quick to dismiss them because they weren't the right kind of Black people asking the right kinds of questions. These are things that Lightfoot has done, and I'm only just scratching the surface because under Lightfoot's administration, she continuously do vanity projects. Even one time, even yelling at the the Italian American coalition that wanted to once again put up Christopher Columbus, to which Columbus statue here in Chicago, and she was saying, "I have the biggest dick in Chicago." Yeah, I know. She talked about it. She said she had the biggest penis. There you go. She said it. That's what you got. Everybody watching. If you don't believe me, you got this Library of Alexandria right at your fingertips, right here. The Library of Alexandria. Go ahead. Look up Lightfoot and biggest dick, and you'll see that there's a phone conversation. She threatened. She was threatening. She had the biggest wang bone in all of Chicago. And she's going to be teaching courses, by the way. I hope nobody shows up. Zach the Celtics guy, you think I'm joking? I'm not.
That sounds like a blurb on some dude's Grindr profile. I can say that because I'm gay. Wow. Jeez Louise. I'll be like, ma'am. Anyway, let me continue because I don't want to get myself in trouble. So it says the course will draw on her experiences leading Chicago through COVID, a pandemic that put enormous strain on every sector of the city and highlighted the city's endemic social problems. Lightfoot, who lost her bid for re-election, third place in February, drew on her pandemic leadership.
Man, I was so happy. Sorry, I don't mean to cut. I was so happy when sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But look, I just got to chime in. Look, that February, that's the same February I lost my grandfather, right? And I was feeling really down. And at the end of that month, because I wish he was still around, I would have ran upstairs and said, "Hey, the leprechaun's gone, Grandpa." It was like the best news. Like that will forever be the worst February. But at the end of it, there was one small caveat. Lightfoot came in third place. And I was like, oh, I wish the old man could see this now.
Wow. It ends, says, drew on her pandemic leadership as she appealed to voters, but her legacy on the issue is more mixed. So mixed, she came in third. Early in the pandemic, when Black Chicagoans were dying at 6 times the rate of whites, Lightfoot and her team, led by Dr. Allison Ardway, worked to address the startling disparity. They provided door-to-door outreach with masks and information in vulnerable communities, and when the jabs became available, prioritized them for South and West Side residents. But Lightfoot was also slow to take action when the pandemic spurred Illinois Governor J.B. the billionaire Pritzker to close schools and businesses across the state, following along only reluctantly. She later clashed with the governor over bar and restaurant rules and battled the Chicago Teachers Union in a push to return to in-person learning, even as she faced blowback over keeping the lakefront closed too long. Her supporters praised her effort to make Chicago the largest open city in America, but critics accused her of acting too hastily to loosen restrictions.
Oh, I find it hilarious because she was actually implementing and calling for the police to have crackdowns on people who were having barbecues and house parties during the pandemic. That pandemic impacted a lot of us, and I have to say again just how stupid all of it was. And when my uncle and my grandfather were still alive, I was taking care of the job solo of taking care of them, to making sure that they would get food and everything else. And I remember wiping down everything, doing everything to take care of them. It's just,
wow.
It's just the thing is this city, then add on top of that, you have a mayor that's using the police force now to crack down on people's own right to at least somewhat return back to normal. And that should serve as a learning lesson that can never, ever again happen to us as a people, as a society. We cannot let that happen. Lightfoot, again, as somebody who talks about compassion and understanding, she lacks it throughout her entire body. She is somebody who, again, is going to be teaching a course about health and leadership. What can she teach us about leadership and the fact that she was always, in her perspective, in the right? She is the one that has helped exacerbate and not exacerbate, but let me I don't know why that word popped in my head. She's the one who chose to put more gasoline onto the fire of this city that is still ongoing and burning. The Chicago fire hasn't stopped. We have the unchecked marks of corruption, which continue to thrive under her administration. This is the same Lori Lightfoot who would time and again test the people's patience. She didn't help make things get better. She helped privatize so much more in the system, in the city. And it's caused a mass exodus, especially in Chicago. There was a mass exodus of Black people leaving our city. The gentrification still happening. So when I look at Lightfoot talking about how wonderful it is to teach, just remember, during the pandemic when the schools were still shut down and the Chicago Public School Teachers Union were saying, well, wait a minute, the schools aren't ready. Guess what her kid was doing? Her kid went to private school, and those schools weren't going to be opening up anytime soon. So rules for thee, not for me. So she was still more than happy to open. And I get it, like open up the public schools. But see, here's the thing. The Chicago Teachers Union, the teachers, all right, because union leadership, I have some serious questions about, criticisms about. But the teachers, they're kind of left out there in the open, like, okay, well, we need resources. We need to get our kids back on track because a lot of them are drastically behind. Remote learning. The city's internet infrastructure is very pathetic. It is stupid. It is pathetic on how so many homes and apartments lack quality internet to do that remote learning in the first place. So it comes to no wonder to me here in the city of Chicago why a lot of students are still far behind. Did Lightfoot do anything to help out? No, she didn't, because she's petty and thin-skinned and will never help out teachers.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks for that revelation, especially regarding how she was in the city. Let's continue. So this is says, as mayor, Lightfoot also walked away from her campaign promise to reopen public mental health clinics closed by predecessor Rahm Emanuel. This part just really irked me, because I'm like, wait a minute. We need public mental health clinics. Why aren't you reopening them? Lightfoot argued, it continues, says, Lightfoot argued the city could better serve residents by giving money to vendors, a stance that drew criticism when her successor, Brandon Johnson, has pledged to reverse. Wait. So this is part of the privatization you were talking about, right?
Okay, let me explain about privatization here in Chicago. Okay, first of all, big brain idiot, Mayor Daley Jr. and the city sold our public parking. Public parking, private, the public meters to pay for parking. That was a revenue going into the city. Well, our mayor signed like a 99, or former mayor, Mayor Daley Jr., who ruled the city for 22 plus years. Again, no term limits for a Chicago mayor. And he's from the dynastic family of Old Man Daley Jr., who made the office of Chicago mayor or what it is. Again, that's a story for another day. I'll talk about the Daleys another day. But sold the public parking meters to a private company for 99 years. We have a thing called the green box. I call it the green monster. That's what I call it. The green.
Hold up. Wait.
Yes, look it up on your cell phone.
Wait, kid. Yeah. Wait 1 goddamn minute. You mean to tell me this dude sold the parking meters?
Yeah, for 99 years.
99 years?
Something like that. Hold on. Let me pull this up properly. Okay. Daley sells parking meters. Thank you.
This is the moment when you would observe JB's head coming off of his shoulders.
All right. So here's a small excerpt from the Chicago Tribune. The deal came in 2008 as Daley and the city council, whose lapdog aldermen were the real puppets in this case, sought to close a budget shortfall. After due diligence, so curiously as not to deserve the name, Chicago agreed to sell a 75-year lease on its parking meter system for just $1.16 billion. And now that private company can do whatever it wants. And plus, when people tried to reverse it. The courts ruled in favor of the company because our politicians didn't read the fine print. Reading, it's very important. It helps you know what you're talking about. And so, yes, we have now a decades-long parking privatization contract. It's going to keep on going. And this corporation now owns it. Same thing with I know I have to deal with a little with Chicago Public Transportation too. There's a private company running it as well. It's not as bad. Hold on. I don't want to get in trouble. I wouldn't say it's as bad as the public parking, but that's not saying much. So again, the city loses some revenue, not only in public parking, but in private, also in public transportation too. And again, Lightfoot didn't do anything about the Green Monster. I mean, come on. Nobody's fighting for us.
So, it's said 75 years.
Yep.
75 years.
75 years.
The parking meters in the city.
So wait, hold on. Let's go find this out. We're gonna actually do a little bit of mathematics here. Hold on, because I can't do it off the top of my head. 2008 is when it happened.
That was 2008.
Yep.
Oh my God, that was 15 years ago. So there's 60 years left.
So yeah, so we got until 2083 till the lease is up. Now I'll be an old man Kit. I remember when parking was run by the public. Yeah, be quiet, old man. You don't know what you're talking about. I remember a time before the green boxes. Yeah, this old man doesn't know what he's talking about. You know what happened under Lightfoot's administration too, right? So, okay, what do you think is more important to Lightfoot? Funding our public schools, getting rid of the lead in the drinking water, reopening the mental health facilities, any corruption, or renaming a highway in the city? Which one do you think is more important? Option A or option B? Oh, that's right, Bad Cookies. You're right. That contract also auto renews. If they don't cancel the contract, it rolls over. So, yeah. So, all right. Harlan G is taking over the Jaybefaunt show. Hi, I'm your host, Kit Cabello. Usually we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central.
Auto renew.
Yeah, that's right. Because
because
I forgot that the politicians who signed that document didn't read it. Guess what happened to that $1.16 billion? It disappeared within 1 year. I don't know who got it, but a lot of people's pockets were stuffed to the brim. So yeah, she actually had the audacity to name Lakeshore Drive.
Some alcohol in this thing right now.
Let's see. Hold on. Lakeshore Drive. I want to get the name right now because Lakeshore Drive is actually called the Jean-Baptiste Dusable Drive. Now, for those who don't know who Jean-Baptiste Dusable is, he is one of the founding fathers of this city. In fact, it's because of him the city exists. And he's, again, what's interesting is that he is a black man. So a black man did help found Chicago. Now, they choose to name Lakeshore Drive, rename it into Jean-Baptiste Dusable Lakeshore Drive. Now, I'm all for honoring him, but give him a statue. Give him a place within City Hall as one of the key founding members. Okay, if you want to do that. But renaming Lakeshore Drive, and again, I'm going to sound petty for this, but you take away the fun from it because Jean-Baptiste Dusable Drive or Jean-Baptiste Dusable Lakeshore Drive, it's no longer fun as it used to be when it was just Lakeshore Drive. Hey, I was on LSD this morning. You're on LSD? No, yeah, Lakeshore Drive. Anyways, petty was the names. But come on. The name Lakeshore Drive just rolls off easier. LSD. I was on LSD this evening. I was on LSD this afternoon. And boy, traffic was crazy.
Mm-hmm. I was tripping balls on LSD. Anyway. So but my thing is that couldn't she have done both? Like build a statue to one of the founding members of Chicago, but also, You know, propped up public school education, get rid of the lead in drinking water. Somehow, some way, she probably could have done that,
You
right?
know, it's also interesting too when she could teach her a course about leadership. She could teach the course about leadership and being petty and health about being petty because during her last winter, what do you think she did and told the snowplowers what to do? A, help out communities, or purposely keep snowmobiles and plowers away from certain communities that were critical of her? Because she also did that shit too. That's right. The snow machines were following orders. Certain places you guys can go and not go. That was also happening under her watch. Lightfoot, you must follow her orders. Following
Look,
orders.
all this BS about Lightfoot and finding all that out is stinking up my show. I gotta spray. She's stinking up my show.
Oh, you know what else is great too? She could also teach her students on how to ignore when somebody gets shot in the back too. There was a unfortunate incident where again a kid who was running, he dropped the gun. He was weaponless, but he was shot in the back. And when Lightfoot went to address the press about the video, you want to know what she said? I don't really know what I saw. Now, I saw that video. It's difficult to watch. It's not easy to watch. But she said, I don't know what I saw. She didn't give any kind of comfort, but she did have time to raise the bridges up. Raise the bridges up in downtown Chicago. So that way there will be no rioting or anything like that. You know, that's what she had time to do.
You know what?
She knew how to cause people to get divided even more so because, okay, I get it. During the George Floyd protests, there was a lot of rioting. There was a lot of people upset with police brutality. It's understandable, right? And Chicago has a long, sad history of political corruption, police corruption, corruption across the board. Hell, we're the most corrupt city in the United States. We're number 2 when it comes down to Washington, D.C. added into that mix. But she helped cause the divide even further. She caused communities to go against each other even further. That's the problem with Lightfoot. She is an expert in just causing just anger, bitterness, resentment, because she is angry, bitter, and resentful. She is the last person who ever should have become mayor.
You know, kid, I have a lot of respect for you and love for you, and I love whenever you come on.
Yeah.
But then you tell me these stories about Chicago, and then I want to rage quit my own show.
I got something I want to share with you.
Oh God, he's like, oh, hold my beer.
Yes, I'm trying to find it, and I hope I can. Yes. No, is that it? No, hold on. I hope that's it. Wait, where? Oh God! Oh my goodness! Come on! I should have had this at the ready.
It's okay.
Wait.
You don't.
Yes, I found it. I found it. This was 2019. This was 2019. Okay, so everyone lay off me 4 years ago. Actually, no, 2018. At the first Chicago Mayoral Forum. Put it in the private chat. I think I might have showed this to you once before, but in case you forgot, it's brand new to you now too. Don't worry, it happens with age. Everything's new to you as the older you get. Enjoy it. It has to deal with the election for mayor in 2019. Nothing has changed, and I have a lot of criticism towards Brandon Johnson, but that's a story for another day. But something for people to laugh at. Something for people to laugh at. It's in the private chat. Everyone take it easy, though. And you can play it. It's from Hard Lens Media. It's our coverage.
On July 25th, 2018, a mayoral candidate forum was held at Horner Park on Chicago's north side of the city. 9 candidates showed, except for one.
Mayor Rahm Emanuel. Yet again, Mayor Rahm Emanuel is not here. Again, he's not really participating in any of these forums or debates, as well as previous other forums. What kind of statement do you want to make? What is your response for Mayor Emanuel's lack of participating in these forums and debates?
This debate here? Yeah. Well, if I had been in his shoes, I wouldn't have came either. Because he's not like.
Well, he's not participating because he doesn't have a good story to tell, and he tries to avoid any opportunity to appear somewhere where he could possibly get booed.
Look, I think his absence from this incredibly important conversation that's happening all over the city speaks volumes about what he cares about and what he doesn't care about.
He's not going to do anything he's not forced to do. That's the nature of the man.
I mean, it fits his pattern. I mean, what's my statement on his lack of participation in any democratic exercise?
Well, I have nothing to say to the mayor. I mean, he's going to do what he's going to do.
I mean, I don't have anything to say. He's the incumbent. He has the right to. He's going to definitely have to be a part of it once we're on the ballot.
I think it's really inappropriate for him to not participate in these forums.
I think it's something that people should be aware of, in the sense of you have candidates out there putting themselves out. We're going to say things that might be agreed upon or might not be agreed upon, but we have to convey our message to the citizens of Chicago. And if somebody's not willing to do that, then they shouldn't be eligible to run for mayor.
If you want to be the mayor of this great city, you've got to get out there. You've got to meet people. You've got to listen to them. And you've got to demonstrate a level of compassion and empathy for the day-to-day struggles of everyday Chicagoans. And the fact that he won't come out in public in these kinds of forums and interact with the citizens, to me, is disqualifying.
He gets the office. He does his PR. He has very controlled press events. If it's not controlled, he's not there. He's never going to show up to something like this. He needs it controlled. He needs it staged. He needs paid applauders.
But once the debates happen, I think we'll be able to expose Ron for who he is.
For him, for as I'm concerned, for Ron Emanuel, close up 48 of 50 schools. Close down the mental health institute. Okay? Economic equality is not there in fairness. I would look, something wrong with him mentally. You gotta have something wrong with you, serious wrong with you mentally. I'm not for sure. I think we need he need to be in that.
Oh my goodness. That interview at the end, when that guy said that Rahm Emanuel needs to go into mental health facility, I was like, that I kept a straight face and I had to run outside to laugh. That's the interview that broke me. Little Wikipedia fact. And everyone calmed down about me being pre-hippie. Danny's saying, who's that young kid holding the mic? That was me. What are you talking about? That was me back in the day. Come on. Come on, everyone. Lay off old man Kit.
That was a baby Kit. Man. By the way, just for anybody who's curious, Rahm Emanuel was actually he was the chief of staff for President Obama during the Obama administration. Not the entire part of the administration. I think he left in 2012. I think if I'm correct, but
yep,
he was
he left like around I think 2012 or 2013, and yeah, well, because the city election was happening in 2015. Yes, the city election was happening in 2015. That was the mayoral run. Mm-hmm. And no. Correction. 2013 he won. 2015 was the second mayoral run. That was the second term. He didn't run again in 2019, which was unheard of, but it had to deal with Laquan McDonald's shooting and how his administration covered up the shooting of that black man.
Gotcha. And it's kind of rich hearing them criticize Rahm Emanuel like this, especially Lori Lightfoot, because it sounded a lot like the criticisms about her, right?
Yep. And now Rahm Emanuel's ambassador of Japan. So maybe, I don't know, Lightfoot could eventually get an ambassadorship too.
What would she get an ambassadorship to? The Muppet Show?
Hi, this is Kermit the Frog here, president of Kermit Land.
Kermit. Waka, waka, waka. No, let me stop. Because the thing is that, you know, why would I take lessons about leadership from someone who can't even take criticism?
Well,
that's the question.
Yeah,
but
and she has the audacity to be sharing that. And you know what? To anyone taking her course, do yourself a favor. Don't show up. Stay far, far away. Don't sign up for her class. It'd be funny. Like Lightfoot would say, like, "Oh, yeah, that's right." Even Lightfoot had the audacity to say that anyone that's voting against her is also secretly racist too. She kept on using the race card or identity card a lot to where it was becoming really like, Jesus, you're heading things on the nose, and people of all demographics in this city could see through it. That's why she came in third place. Pathetic in how she ran her campaign. She kept on, she kept on making everyone else the villain. It's everyone else's fault. It's everyone else. Why are all the black candidates in this race? I'm the only qualified black person to run. That's, she was more or less saying that kind of stuff. She was using identity politics as a way to divert criticism, deflect, and not take responsibility. She's like the kid who has the gasoline can in one hand, the match in the other, says, I don't know how the house caught on fire. It's not my fault.
I mean, look, as the black, gay, disabled guy, I wouldn't have voted for her either. That's what she's going to say about me. The only thing she could probably tag me with is misogynistic. That's probably about it. But I know a lot of people who are just like me, who would have been like, yeah, nah, she ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, if you guys want to go to Harvard and learn about healthcare, you guys can actually learn about healthcare from former mayor, third place, Lori Lightfoot, about what not to do.